just taking a look at this. So this guy replied to me with a resume. I said, Avi, do you want to share your resume or GitHub or portfolio or anything like that? If posting resume here, be sure to redact personal details. Uh, oh, okay. Limit of my ability in this area with my first message. All right. So let's see if I can find what I was doing here. So we were doing Lua and moved so we did ETL previously, so now we're gonna move over kindergarten. Okay, so let's try if I can do 6 more this afternoon. That'll be fantastic. It's late afternoon already here. So there are some other kindergarten gardens. It is kind of an odd exercise, but I mean it's fine. So this one is in CoffeeScript. I haven't looked at CoffeeScript in quite a while. I think it's probably easy, probably similarly easy to Lua, I would guess. I'm not positive, but that would be my impression. What have I done with CoffeeScript in the past? Let's see. I mean, if I've done anything with it in the past, it would only have been here on Exorcism. According to this, I did finish one exercise, which was Pascal's triangle. Let's take a look. And I only submitted the one iteration. Looks simple enough, right? So we did, in this case, I guess it was a class, so that seems fine. It looks like it has just one method, rows. Also seems fine. And just pretty straightforward, I guess. It looks like it's a recursive method, which makes sense for the problem. This got a little long, so we did concat, and then we added, let's see here, what was x? So for x, oh, it's a comprehension, like Python. Beautiful, beautiful. All right, sure, so let's try kindergarten garden in CoffeeScript. Kindergarten. Let's take a look. Right there. Oh, that's house, actually. Wait, where was it? There. It's apparently listed as a medium in CoffeeScript, but oh well, let's give it a shot. I did spend a long time on it in Lua, but I think it was listed as an easy. Maybe not. I'm not sure. Let's just hop on over here. So let's quit the Lua and paste that in there. All right, so we've got a coffee file. Okay, let's hop into it. Okay, so it's a class again. This one has a constructor that takes a diagram. This diagram equals diagram. I'll maybe start there. And then if let's see, so if it calls a plants method passing in a student, then we're supposed to give those back. So it actually does seem to me that it might make sense to process the diagram in the constructor. Would that make sense? It would kind of make sense to me, I think. How can I hear me? Can I hear me? How can I hear me? Just fine. That's fine. All right. So here we go. So if we're gonna process this diagram here, what's the processing that we want to do? Just turn it into different, like, lists of plants, basically. So, yeah, I mean, I guess that's basically it. So we could do like to lowercase here, right? That's what it to lowercase is how it would be in JavaScript. CoffeeScript is connected to JavaScript, but they're certainly not the same. Uh-oh. CoffeeScript programming language. To lowercase. CoffeeScript cookbook. CoffeeScript org. Let's take a look. Okay, so it says to lowercase. Okay, perfect. So yeah, this looks like a good place to start. It's called CoffeeScript Cookbook GitHub IO. And if we go to the front page, these are some recipes. It seems like a decent place to look for things. But what about like the actual docs, language reference? Okay, so some of that might help us. So let me think here. So we just did this in Lua, right? I think the diagram is going to be passed in the same way that we saw. Okay. So I guess that I'm just going to set an array with all the different plants, basically. I will set an array with all of the different plants. Once we have that, I guess the input string can be thrown away. Okay, so I'm gonna say this, so yeah, sure. Well, actually, hold on. So let's say, yeah, let's not do that. Let's just say lower diagram. Okay, so this dot diagram equals array. And should we just start it off with the different arrays kind of in it? So we can use a comprehension, right? So we can say let's look at the comprehension that I did here. So we did 4xi in previous row, right? So does it look like the previous row was an array? Yeah. And I don't know. I think that seems fine, I guess, right? Do we have like a range? So loops and comprehensions. Okay, so we just use a range syntax like this, right? Cool, kick-ass. All right, so the range is just basically 0 through 12. Yeah? Okay, so that's fine so far, but now let's actually fill this in with the plants, right? So they're all going to be sets of plants. But the thing about that is that it's only going to be so many plants that are going to be filled in. So if there is a plant there, then we're going to want to fill it in. Otherwise, we're just going to want to skip, right? So here we'll say if lower diagram dot length less than 4 times I plus 1, else, and then here we would actually fill it in, I guess, and it kind of makes sense to me. So if it's long enough, but actually let's break this onto different lines. Yeah? Okay. Okay, so then this is going to be the part where it's going to get a little interesting. So here, we want to fill in all of the plants. So the plants are going to be so I'm just going to say plant names equals, all right, and I'm going to, I guess, map each one. So it's going to be B, and we're going to put violets. Right? C, R, G. So that's going to be clover. This is going to be radishes. This is going to be grass. Okay. So we're going to put plant names sub lower diagram. And now we're going to get that index, which is going to be what? So the first one will be... Okay, so if we're looking at 0, it's going to be 2 times I minus 1. All right. Then this next one is plant. So this one is going to be not minus 1. Okay. And then here we have to go to the second line, right? So I'm going to do again diagram midpoint equals math floor diagram length over 2 and add. Or actually, no, we don't add 1 because we're not 0 indexed anymore. Okay. Or, excuse me, we are 0 indexed now. In Lua, we were 1 indexed, and that necessitated adding the 1, but now it's not. Okay. So, so here we add the diagram midpoint in there. Okay. Yeah, like that. So then when we need to return, in CoffeeScript, do we have a REPL? Let's see. CoffeeScript programming language, command line REPL. Nesh? Okay, let's not bother. All right. If they need some whole project called Nesh, yeah, let's forget about it. Unless I really need it at some point. So here, we are just going to try to take the first letter of the student name and convert it to a number. And so we're going to just basically return. Wait a minute. Do we even use return? Yeah, we do. Return. And so this is going to be student sub-0. So I think we can, I'm kind of hoping that we can use some of the same things from JavaScript, right? So if the student name is Alice, all right, and we take sub-0, then we get the letter A, then we take code point at, I guess we don't really even want to say 0 here, do we? Then subtract A, code point at 0, and then we get the number that we want, right? That's pretty much it. So we're not going to do that. We'll do code point at. The problem, of course, is I don't know if this is going to be supported, but we'll see. We'll see very soon here. Code point at 0 minus a code point at 0. All right, and that's going to be the index. This diagram sub that. Okay. Okay, so then in the help, what does it say? It says we should use Jasmine node coffee dot. Okay, let's give it a shot. Jasmine node coffee dot. Did I get that wrong? Probably. So the first part's Jasmine. Oh, double dash coffee. Okay, excuse me. Okay. So what does this say? Oh, interesting. So I guess I got the comment wrong. It's probably the first of many things that I'm going to find that I got wrong. Okay, so comment, we can use a hash. Okay, fair enough, fair enough. So it looks like my syntax highlighting is all wrong, doesn't it? I guess. I mean, let's see what it says now. Literal is not a function. Okay, so I put square brackets if. Okay, so that was kind of trying to do what I thought I'd sort of done here. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, it's supposed to be if then. Okay, so I wasn't paying attention at all. So we get rid of these, and we say then. Is that it? Well, let's find out. So now it says unexpected indentation. Oh, crap. That's crazy. So, shoot. Are we, let's see. So here, did it say something about indentation? What's the story on indentation? Okay, so let me look at this again. So I made this all one rather long line, and maybe that's because I did have some trouble with this same thing. So I guess I'm gonna make this one rather long line again. I mean, I don't know. Okay, let's look. So class kindergarten garden constructor diagram. Okay, so how does that look? Actually, yeah, let's get rid of that. So plant names, V violets, C clover, R radishes, G grass. Okay, that's not too bad. This one will be much worse, but okay. Oh, I'm missing commas. Maybe the missing commas were the problem. I mean, certainly they were a problem. Well, that's insanity, but let's see what it says now. So, interesting. Expected. Wait a minute. Huh. Expected undefined. No, wait, hold on. Oh, okay, interesting. Partial garden with single student. So it looks like I passed back way too much, right? And those undefined definitely seem bad. Okay. So it was supposed to be just radishes, clover, grass, all right? Okay, let me fix whatever it was that I did that was insane. Okay, so constructor, lower diagram. Okay, so let me just see if it'll still test. Because if it's written that way, oh, interesting. Is this the same as before? No. It was supposed to be radishes, clover, grass. Oh, maybe it is the same as before. Okay. So, yeah, this is much easier, I think, for me to read at least. So we'll do plant names. Okay, now let's look at the spec. So we passed in RCGG, and then we were supposed to, okay, so new kindergarten garden, RCGG was passed in, and that's the only one not skipped. Okay. So I'm going to say first init equals, and then alphabet start equals, and then I'm going to say diagram index equals, all right, and that's going to be first init subtract alphabet start, okay, and then student plants equals this diagram index. So, no, what am I doing? Student plants, okay, and then should we be able to console log? Yeah, right? So now are we going to see those come out? Let's take a look. Yes, good. So 65, 65, 0. Those three are great. However, this is not it. This is not it at all, right? Misspelling there. Yeah, this is not it at all. This is madness. Okay, so let's try and break this down. Okay, okay, okay. This diagram equals, okay, 4 I in 0, 12. And this is how we loop, right? Loop. So, yeah, let's see. Oh, no, this is the JavaScript version on the right. This, okay. Comprehensions should be able to handle most places where you otherwise would use a loop. Yeah, so the reason I would not do that necessarily is because I might want to console log every time, right? Okay, so that's fine though. Okay. So we just want a helper function in here that where the console log will actually happen. Okay, so this is going to be init diagram, right? And it's going to take what? D for diagram. And I think the plant names are going to be moved into here. N for the, maybe M for the mid, for the diagram midpoint. And then just I, right? So then plant names will be moved down here. So then I'm going to do I0 through I4, I guess. So I0 equals 2 times I minus 1. And then here we do mid plus. All right, so then that way we can console log all of these, I guess, if we need to. And then I'm going to say N0 equals plant names sub. No. Hold on. Init 0 equals d sub I0, all right? So I guess, and then n0 equals plant names sub init 0. A little crazy, maybe more than a little crazy, I don't know. It looks like it's a ripe thing for refactoring, but whatever. So then in the end, we'll get there. In the end, we will return 0, 2, 3. Okay, I hate it. So let's go ahead and refactor already right now. So this is going to be dis equals and then init equals d sub j for j in this. And then let's say n equals plant names sub init or init in init. Let's come up with better names soon. Okay. Okay, so we're not calling that yet. Let's, oh, wait. Unmatched outdent, and that's on 15? Okay. So this is init diagram entry. Unmatched outdent. Where do I need to fix that? It says it's 1513 unmatched outdent where I have return n. And why is that? I thought it looked matched. Shoot. I can't, yeah, I can't see, so it's an indentation problem, and I can't see it. Hold on. Hold on, let me just look until, oh, wait, there it is, there it is. There it is. Okay. Plant names is not defined, because I moved it. All right, so then here, we're going to say this dot init diagram entry. We're going to pass lower diagram, diagram midpoint, and I. right? Unmatched outdent again. Okay. Gotta edit more carefully. Okay. So we got -1. Well, there's our problem right off the bat. Okay, so easy to see once I'm doing this. Okay, so no, it should not be like that. So should it be +1 after? It has to be, right? Talk about not paying attention. Goodness. Okay, so 0, 1, 2, and 3, so that's not right. So do we add, so if the length is 5 and we divide that by 2 and get 2, that should be it, I guess, right? Okay, so these are right and these are right. Okay, so now what's coming out undefined? Oh my goodness. One mistake after another. What's coming out undefined here? That was supposed to be plant names sub ini for ini in init, right? Okay. So I've got R, C, G, G, and those are supposed to be in the plant names. Console log plant names B. Okay, well there they are. Violets, clover, radishes, grass. Okay, look at this. That's totally wrong. It's inside a nested array. Okay, so init is supposed to be, so dis looked okay. Oh my goodness. Is that what it is? It's surprising. It's a bit different from Python, but of course it's a completely different language. It doesn't have to be the same as Python. Huh. Wow. Okay. And you know what? You know what's crazy? I noticed that it looked off when I looked at my previous answer, but I didn't get it, right? The way it's using the round parentheses there, I was like, I think that looks off, but I didn't get it, you know? But maybe now I'm starting to get it. So here, again, we don't want that. That's crazy. It's different from Python, of course. And I think it's different from Haskell. The Haskell list comprehensions, I think, look pretty similar to Python's, but these look rather different, I guess. Okay, so let's Jasmine again. Okay, so these came out. I saw G. Interesting, interesting. Okay, so plant names. Okay, let's not log these anymore. Okay, 0134 G grass. It's not right at all. Should it be like that? Yeah, that looks better. Holy crap, what the? Yeah, okay, so those look right. So I'm still getting something super wrong out at the end, but now knowing to be careful about the specific syntax of a list comprehension. So like here, these should not be square brackets, right? Because then we end up with a nested list. I still don't quite understand why. But if we just look at the basic example here, oh, that's so crazy. That's interesting. That's a really elegant syntax, isn't it? I just had wrong expectations at first. Wrong expectations and wrong assumptions. So wait, so what about this? Should these also be round brackets? So here they used square brackets. Okay, let's see what Jasmine says now. So radishes, clover, grass, grass. Okay, so I do see that in there. Okay, so now at the bottom. So I think this is technically okay now. Okay, now here in the constructor, if the length is less than 4 times I plus 1. Okay, so that's obviously not correct, right? The length, so when I is a 0, then this is going to come out as 1. Oh, okay, okay, hold on. So if this is 0, it'll come out as 1. This will come out as false. Okay, something about it seems a bit backwards now that I look at it, though, right? So if this is 2, if I is 2, no, hold on. So we did I 0. Okay, now if I is 1, then this will come out as 5. But if it's 5, we... I messed myself up. I'm all turned around. All right, I'm gonna type it out. I'm gonna try to type out what I'm actually thinking. when the diagram length is 5, the first position should be filled in with an entry. The rest should be left empty. Right? When the diagram length is 9, each of the first 2 positions should be filled in with entries, and the rest should be left empty. All right? So, right. So that part, I think, makes sense to me. So I believe we can console log the diagram after we've finished making it, right? So here's what it looks like. So I ended up, so those are not empty. So it's not working the way I thought it should. All of those were supposed to be empty except for the first one. And furthermore, that's nested way too deeply. Not way too deeply, it's 1 level too deep. So okay, so that fixed the nesting. Good. Huh. So it actually turned green. Interesting. So that one question did pass. However, this is still not being initialized correctly. Okay, so it says 5. That's as expected. Should it just be like that then? No. Okay, wait a minute. Yeah, so those are counting up the way they're supposed to. Seems like so far so good. I would have thought. So that came out as expected. This is wrong. I should have seen that ages ago. Okay, so I think the if should be moved to the other thing. Yeah, okay, so that's the way it was. And then here we'll just say let's get rid of this commentary. Here we'll say if d length less than 4 times I plus 1, then return, and then all the rest of this is else, right? Ah, okay. Okay, one more thing. Well, that was close, but how come we got it messed up? So let's say len equals d length, and then min len equals 4 times I plus 1. Len less than min len. Okay, so now here, console log len, console log min. Five, 1, 5, 5. Yeah, so why did I get a second one here? If the min len is 5, and the length is 5, Okay, so it is less than equal. I see it now. Man. Man. I thought it might be, but man, I absolutely wasn't sure until I looked at it laid out in front of me there for a second. Okay, so now that's actually right. Okay, now let me try and see if I need to or if I can refactor a little bit. Okay, I think I'm okay with that. Let's get rid of the console log there for now. If then else, fair enough, I think. That len is not doing anything for me. Okay, let's turn on the rest of the tests. And that's it. Okay. I'll submit and go on to the next one then. Oh, wait. First of all, let's look for auto formatter real quick. There might not be anything. So, coffee script. So is this about the command line, usage command line? Oh, there is interactive. What? Ah, and you just do coffee? Hold on. Why was somebody talking about some Neft tool? That's insanity. Okay, that's fine. Um, okay, so output watch print literate coffee script? I don't know what that is. Not gonna find out right now. Josh Stoll 329, yay, a stream related to my field. Hey, thanks for coming in. What is your field, Josh? My name's Josh also. All right, I don't think there's anything. I'm just gonna submit. Getting into web development, but I've done HTML, CSS so far. This fall, I learned database and social media. That's awesome. Yeah, database and social media. So what I'm doing here is basically going through a lot of exorcism. So on this site, they just have a lot of programming languages you can sort of practice. And I made the fake challenge for myself to go through a whole bunch this month. Well, through September, basically. Oh no, still processing. Okay, passed. How much experience do I have? I worked for 4 years doing QA automation, but that was almost 2 years ago that I have not been working in IT. All right. Oh, Vim script. Interesting. So in Vim script, I still have to do @bash cipher and kindergarten guard. I used Free Code Camp or Codecademy. Yeah, I've seen Free Code Camp. Um, you said HTML and CSS. HTML and CSS are awesome on Free Code Camp. At least when I saw them there, they were awesome. And Codecademy, I've seen what I saw the most on Codecademy was, I think, Ruby on Rails, and it did seem awesome. And React for sure on Codecademy was awesome. But they've got a lot of stuff, and I don't know about most of what's on Codecademy. What am I working on for my skills? Just practicing with various programming languages for now. And there's F sharp. Okay, I'm gonna skip F sharp for now. Let's go to another coffee script maybe while I'm thinking about it. Or have you made sites? Yeah, I made one recently. So this NeoCities is good if you want to do like just post something. And what I did here is like I used basically this markdown thing. So there's basically like a blog post that's just written as markdown here. So to me that's kind of cool because then it gets turned into HTML with this markdown helper. And I actually originally wrote this markdown helper on Exorcism, but I just added a few things to it. So basically it'll just show the blog posts there. So it's, I mean, I didn't spend very much time on it. And like, yeah, and this text is literally just like AI slop that I just threw in there. But yeah, like you can do like these, like they are all from Markdown, so. In fact, that looks wrong. I don't think there should be a P there with nothing in it, but maybe it's fine. Doesn't look too bad. That's right, that's right, that's exactly right. It doesn't look too bad. Ah. Yeah, so this way, so what it is the idea is like the so the source code here is like it's not processed at all. So the source code is the final product. Oh wait. This is the wrong source. This is my user script. The user script is a different deal. It's just that goes on any site. I've got a lot of user scripts. Actually, I have it linked on my about, but I haven't worked on the user scripts much for a while. But there's a whole bunch of them here. Oh no. Update assets git ignore last month turned red. See, I haven't even looked. It says what? File already exists? Oh, because I added a git keep. Okay, hold on. I can change that then. I added a git keep because that makes more sense than whatever I did here. Make dir assets. Where is it? I guess it's in here somewhere. Nope, I don't know where it is. Right here in image preprocessor, that's where it is. So asynchronously creates a directory, recursive mode. I think if I have the git keep in there, I probably just want to not even make that dir. Must be on a branch. Okay, hold on. So we don't want to do this. So I guess I can skip that completely. Oh no. Do not make the assets in preprocessor because that has a git keep. Right? Yeah, the git keep is right there. Okay. All right. So basically, these are a lot of user scripts that I think I've got most or all of them in my Tamper Monkey. And they just do, a lot of them just do kind of goofy things, like a propeller. I mean, you can imagine what a propeller script might do. So here we are on GitHub. If I want to do a propeller, I can use Z. It'll highlight wherever I want to make a propeller. And then I make a propeller. Hooray! And then oh good, it stopped. And that's you know, that's pretty much what they're like. And I mean, there are a whole bunch. That's probably one of the goofiest, but they're all goofy. Color cycle, that's a little fun. So just turn that on. It gets added to my goofy menu here. I put 7 on whatever it is that I want to color cycle, which there's not a lot of color on here, so it might not look like much. But the color that's there, it kind of cycles, and then we can make it a propeller as well, or whatever. And I don't know, it's just kind of stupid, I don't know. So we can, supposedly we can unpropeller if we use Q, and we can uncolor cycle if we use Y, I guess. Alright, so why does publish say bad? I think... Okay, so I have to get a new access token. I'll just do that later. The access tokens, they expire every month, basically. I could set it for longer, but a month is fine for me. And then we can just do confetti wherever. So wherever I click, there's confetti. I guess that's fun. And, I mean, you know, there's a whole bunch of them. I did them last year. Was it last year? Yeah, it was last year. Sarcastic sizer. Okay, so if we do... Oh, wait. Is it turned on? It might be set to not work on this page. Let's look. Oh, it should work here. Maybe that's an older one with a different way of working. No, it looks like it's turned off. Was not executed yet? When does it execute? Well, I don't know. I haven't looked at them in a while, so maybe some of them were never working. I mean, it was working at one point, but I may have broken it somewhere. Sketchify. Let's see if that'll turn on. I think I messed it up. It says it's supposed to be turned on. Oh, that one's sketchified. Okay, let me turn it back off. And then what about the sarcasticizer? I don't remember how it works. A lot of them have a menu down here to remind me how it works, but maybe not that one. Insert chaos code. This one's completely insane. So we can use one of these local things. Let's use the chatter. And then try insert chaos code. And it'll try to insert code like right there live. But, oh yeah, okay, let's unleash some visual extravagance. Here's the completed markup with a lavish over-the-top CSS style applied. I've focused on creating a visual. And so it'll start writing it. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, see, I actually kind of enjoy that. It's just kind of funny. And then at the end, it's supposed to take out this chatty stuff, but we'll see if it does. Welcome to the CoffeeScript cookbook, so it just throws it in there somewhere. That might be it. I'm not sure when it finishes. Okay, so it reinserted this apparently, and then it put that in, and then oh yeah. So it did replace everything with what it was doing. So you can kind of see it do it live. I think it's kind of fun. All right, and then what other one? Fidget text. Let's see if this one works. So fidget, I've got here. Yeah, okay, yeah. So the letters all turn fidgety. And marquee, well, marquee is a classic. Let me just see, where's the wave? Do I have wave? Oh, and these glitch ones, the glitch ones are okay. No, not that one. All right, let's see the glitch. So they kind of glitch like that. Eh. The wiggle glitch is a little more noticeable, but less readable. And then, what other one? And the menu can go away and come back. So yeah. I think I'm gonna turn all those back off though. Except the BRB screen, that can stay. Oh, and there was a menu for the glitch speed. Okay, let me try it. So if I put a glitch on here, okay, so that's glitchy, and we can adjust the speed. Yeah, something like that. JavaScript. Let me try one in JavaScript. What's grade school? Wait, where is it? Shoot. Oh, I'm in the wrong place. Here. Well, it says it's a medium, actually. Okay, let's give it a shot. NPMI. All right. So what are we supposed to do in this one? Oh, I see. So add a student's name. Interesting. So let's see if we run the test. So it says we run the test by, oh, wait a minute. Core pack. Okay, let's see. Core pack PNPM test. Okay, so we tried running one and it says throw new error. Okay. So instead of throwing new error, when we call roster, it's supposed to give us back the roster, right? So when we add, we'll say if this dot student roster, then this dot student. Oh wait, when we call add, shouldn't a student be passed in? I would think so. Else, this student roster equals student. Okay, so that would kind of get us started there. And then we would say, similarly, if this student roster, return this student roster. Yes. Like, I feel like we should have maybe a constructor to actually initialize the student roster, but it didn't give us a stub for one, so maybe it's not expected. I guess it's probably fine this way. So if there is none, then we'll just return an empty roster. Okay, then here in grade, well, I'm not sure what grade is supposed to do yet. so let's see what the test says. Oh, it was expecting an empty object. Oh, interesting. Okay. So a new school has an empty roster, fair enough. Then let's see what the next one is. Adding a student adds them to the roster for the given grade. Ah, okay. All right, fair enough. So, oh, whoops. Okay, so it's not going to be like that. So a student is passed in and a grade number. And here, it's going to be something like this, where, let's see. Grade number. So that's how it's going to start out. And then we won't append. I guess I'll just put another if. If this student roster grade number like that. Otherwise, still not quite sure what grade is supposed to do. Oh, wait, it seems like it's probably... So, I think they're going to pass in a grade number and expect to see all the students in that grade. So then we'll say, if this student roster and this student roster grade number return this student roster grade number, right? And then otherwise, just return nothing. Okay, so expected to array Amy, but only got 2 Amy. Okay, so school.roster. Oh, interesting. All right, let me see where I messed that up. So we went add, I think. Oh, yes, of course. Yep, I see it. Yeah, that was inconsistent. So, okay, next. Adding more students to the same grade adds them to the roster. So Blair, James, and Paul all added to grade 2. And then they should all come back out. I think that one should be okay. Nope. Oh, I thought it should have been okay, but it was not. Append is not a function. Oh, it's push. What am I saying? No, not this one. Okay, so that one's better. All right, what's the next one? Adding students to different grades adds them to the roster. So they added Chelsea grade 3 and Logan grade 7, and so they should both be there. All right, this time I legitimately think that that one should be fine. Yeah, that one's fine. Okay. Then this one, grade returns the students in that grade in alphabetical order. Okay, so I haven't done that. So when they call grade, then we should alphabetize Bradley and Franklin. Okay. So yeah, it should just be like that, I think. Yeah, that one's okay. Next. Whoops. No, 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 no. Grade returns an empty array if there are no students in that grade. Yeah, I think we're okay there. Okay, next. The students' names in each grade in the roster are sorted. Okay, so... Oh, interesting. So we're actually supposed to sort when we get the roster as well? Interesting, interesting. Okay. So when we return the roster, they should all be sorted. So since it's going to have to be sorted regardless, I guess I'll just sort it here when we push a student on. Okay. This one cannot be modified outside of module. Okay. So we said school add Amy, and then we got the roster, and then we tried to push something to the roster. Well, let's take a look. So yeah, if I return the student roster like that, then I guess it probably can be modified. Let's see if it fails. That'll be good information. Yeah, it does fail. Cool. All right, so we'll return a copy of it. Oh, wait a minute, wait a minute. No, we have to copy everything, so what am I doing here? Yeah, so when we have this, then we're going to return a copy, which is... Let me think. Do I want to look this up? Actually, I want to do it my way first, and then let me look it up. So I'm going to say const roster copy equals this. And then I'm going to say object keys, this student roster for each key, roster copy subkey equals this student roster subkey. Does that make sense? Okay, let me look at it over again. So we're going to make a roster copy, and then copy each key over. Nope. Let me look it over a little more slowly. Okay, object keys, this student roster, for each key, roster copy, subkey, equals. I don't know if, does this make any difference? Okay, so objects entries, this student roster, for each key value, roster copy key equals value. Oh, I didn't return it. That's why. It's not the only problem. Value is not iterable. Really? What was value? Oh, this is spelled wrong. It should be like this. Okay, so that's better, I guess. Okay, now let me see here. JavaScript object deep. I still have a bunch of things turned on. Oh no. I'll leave confetti. That's kind of fun. I don't need glitch. I don't need. I certainly don't need that. All right. So deep copy. Oh yeah. This is what they do. Oh, you know what? That's absolutely what I should do. That makes way more sense. Yeah, I hadn't looked at that in a while. JSON parse, JSON stringify this student roster. Okay, next. Roster cannot be modified outside of module using grade. Okay, so we need to do the same thing. Nope, not this one. Last one. Oh no. A student can't be in two different grades. Okay. So if I have an Amy, then... Oh, interesting. So, So if they add Amy's in two different grades, then I'm supposed to move Amy from one grade to the other, I guess. Let's see how it fails. Okay, so it's like, oh, by the way, we expected no Amy in there. Okay. Interesting. So for that, I guess I should have read that right from the start, because now I gotta change basically the entire thing, I think. I guess that's fine, though. But yeah, I gotta change basically the entire thing. So okay. All right. I'm gonna step outside for a second and come back and do this. Basically, the whole thing is worthless. I mean, kinda. Ah. All right, all right. Okay, let's redo it from the start. Pretty much. I mean, not fully from the start, but pretty much. Okay, so whenever we add a student, we are not gonna do pretty much any of this. We're just gonna say this student roster sub student equals grade number. Are we going to do any of that? No, pretty much none of it. And then here else, it's going to actually be, this is going to be student, and this is going to be grade. Okay, so that's that one. So when we go to get the grade, it's not going to be like that. It's going to be if this dot student roster. We're not going to do that. We're going to go return object entries this student roster map. We're going to get a student grade number. And then we're going to return an array. Wait, hold on. So we're going to map. Oh, no. We need to reduce, actually. Hold on. Reduce student grade number. And we're going to start off with empty array. So we want to filter first, right? So we'll filter student grade number. Do I have a job? Yeah, I work in a server factory, rack and server factory. Okay, hold on. So it's grade number here, but I have grade number up there as well. So let's just call this one grade. Sure. And actually, we don't need the student there. I'll just put this. So then we'll say grade equals grade number. Okay, so that makes sense. Let me just put this on a new line here. So return object entries, this student roster, filter by grade equals grade number, map student, and we don't need the grade anymore. And this will just be student. Sort. Okay, so we'll just do that. What's the complaint? Defined but never used? Well, that's why I used an underscore. Okay. And then here, in this one, we'll get a grade. What do I do at the factory? I just work in the warehouse. There's just a lot of parts come in from overseas, and we just unpack them and take them out to the floor to be assembled. So we're not going to do any of that. We're going to go... So you don't program anything over there? Nah. Nope, nothing. I mean, I do if I'm like wasting time on the computer when nobody's looking. Yeah, baby. All right, so we're gonna go object, and I think where did you get that text notification? What you mean the sound effect? It is right. Where is it? It's running in one of these. Shoot, which one is it? It's this one. So if you, it also handles the AI chatter. So if you send a message that starts with AI, then it will try to chat, but it's a very dumb AI. So AI, what is the capital of my favorite emote? And then it'll try to answer. See, so it puts some text in there for context, and then it'll try to answer once it loads or whatever. And then it just says factory chaos and no code, let's have fun. So hey chat. So it said, hey chat, so good to be here. It looks pretty good, huh? Nope, no job, sadly, just hanging out. Factory's chaos, lots of dot 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 stuff, mind blown, no programming definite. That notification found it online. Favorite emote? Let's see, what's yours? So it didn't even answer the question. It's just a dumb thing. Smart enough to make my own AI yet? So no, it's not my own AI. So no, the answer is no. It's just Olama. If you haven't tried Olama, it's super easy. You just download these different like models. But yeah, I mean that's pretty much it. Like the code for it is just like it's right there, the LLM Twitch chatter. I mean, we can take a look. Source server. Is it here? So it just connects to the Twitch chat IRC, right? So that you can kind of connect there. And then if a message comes in, then it makes a sound. And that's just here. So you just do MPV sound file name, and the sound file name it's just in a different file, so it's configurable. And then yeah, and then it throws the messages over to Olama if it has AI, and then that's in like a helper. So if you go in the Olama chat request, it kind of handles it there. Is it? Is this the right place? No, I don't think so. Yeah, this one, Olama chat request. So you just literally make a regular request like you would to any API, and it's just running on the local host. I think this is the default for Olama, and you just send it to it, and then it sends back one word at a time because I mean it generates pretty like slowly basically, and so it just sends back one word at a time in chunks, and then every time a chunk comes back, you you can just handle it, right? So every chunk that comes back, you put that onto the response basically, um, and then make that into a message. Now the other thing is like if you see characters like this, so it'll say like something with some weird looking characters, those are like emoji bakes. And so if you see that, then you do the emoji bake fix, which is just this. Somebody, Windows 1252 encoding. And so it's just a table of different encodings because they mess up emojis with different like numbers basically, but that's pretty much it. Windows 1252 encoding, which is like not really used these days, but the AI can still use it sometimes because they're just kind of dumb that way. And so that's pretty much it. Okay. So, let me go back here. All right. Oh no! Okay, here we were. So, object. Okay, let me make a note. So, what we're going to do here is get all the grades that I have in the roster and make an object with each grade as a key. So that's what we're going to do. So we'll do I guess we'll go through, so we'll say so I'll call it a display roster because we're kind of returning it for display, and we'll just set it to empty. And then we'll go this.student roster. Let's say object.entries again. And we'll go for each. And then we're going to have, so what we're going to have in there is a student and a grade number again. And then we're going to say if grade number in display roster, display roster grade number push student, else display roster, if I could spell it, grade number equals student. Okay, and then after we finish that, then we return display. Okay, but I didn't sort, did I? I sorted here, but we also need to sort here. So I guess I'll just sort them as each one goes on. I don't know. No, we can't do that. Okay, so I think that will pass. I don't know. Yeah, 10 passed. Done! Let's move on. Yes! Cool. Oh wait, let me prettier first. Exorcism test. And okay, so get all the grades that I have in the roster and to make an object with each grade as a key. Do I want to keep that comment? That was just me telling myself what I was going to do before I did it. So I'll get rid of that. And then this one's still complaining because I have these unused names, but like they're underscores. So I'm not going to worry about that. Cool. All right. Where? Stick this back in here. Passed. Okay, cool. If I can do 2 more before logging off, that'll be perfect. So, JavaScript, grade school, move that guy over. All right, do I have grade school anywhere else? Nope, that was the only one. Okay, how about... I want to try to pick some easy ones. Oh, I haven't done any Groovy yet. So for Groovy, we have anagram, series, and ISBN verifier. Did a few lessons on JavaScript. It's tough. Yeah, so like we said, web development. So you definitely got to know JavaScript stuff in web development. That's like for sure necessary. And like... So of course, like all the information that you ever need to know about JavaScript is on developermozilla.org. And so if you go to the starting page, then like they, I think, have beginners tutorials, right? Which like, yeah, if you've done only a few lessons, then I guess that sounds like beginner tutorial stuff. So they'll kind of start you off with stuff. And like adding interactivity to a website is just like, if you just imagine like, say that when I click on something, I want it to go bold, for example. So how would I do that? So you just go inspect and you say, okay, so if I ever click on a paragraph anywhere in here, I want it to turn bold. So you would have an event listener. Yeah, I would add it to the body, so anywhere in the body that you click, we'll add an event listener for a click, right? And then, like, if you don't know what to do yet, so when you add an event listener, you give it a name of the event type, and then an event gets passed into your callback. So that's just a function that you can define here, basically. And so then, if you just console log the event, then you'll start to learn what's happening, right? So if you just add that and then I click, then I see that the event was logged, basically. And like one of the things, like the first thing I would do is I would look at the target. So the target shows what was clicked, right? So then if I want it to turn bold, for example, then I could say that instead of looking at the event, we're just going to look at the target itself, because that's what I'm interested in. And then I could say that I'm gonna, so let's make a bold, like, well, first of all, let me remind myself, how do we make something bold just using plain CSS? So if we're looking at plain CSS, we can add a style, and I don't remember it off the top of my head, but it'll probably give me something. So we could do maybe a font style, and then it usually gives you hints, right? So all these hints come up. Font style, and we're going to choose one of these. So we could choose italic, normal, oblique, but none of those are bold, so it's not that. So let's try font weight. That would make more sense, right? And then we could choose like bold, and then it turns bold. So then, if I click on something, then I'm like, okay, I want it to be bold. So I'm going to go target, and I'm going to change its style. I'm going to set property on the style, and I'm going to say font weight, just like we did on the other tab, and I'm going to say bold. And like literally that's pretty much it. And so now, in theory, I guess everything I click should turn bold. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. 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 So that's what they're trying to say, right? Like adding interactivity to a website, like any simple interactivity is like something you can add. So it's kind of cool. All right. And that's all just using, so they're just called like web APIs. And all the web APIs are covered on this MDN website. And so like it's a lot of stuff to do with like the document, and the document has its own body, and then there are events that happen, and then there's like styles, and like honestly that stuff covers like a lot of what happens when you're doing web dev. Okay, so with JavaScript on the brain, I still have rational numbers. I think that one's pretty easy. Let's take a look. JavaScript. Okay, where's rational numbers? This one. Okay. All right, so what's it tell us to do in the help? So we're gonna start by doing corepack pnpm install. So let's try that. Update available. Oh, interesting. Okay, cool. I'm gonna update my brew as well here. All right, cool. I thought this was going to be like 6 seconds. That turned into 41 seconds. Oh my goodness gracious. All right, so let's see what the exercise is about. So it's the rational numbers exercise. Mathematically, the denominator can't be 0. Okay. Addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division of two rational numbers. All right, let's see what's in the stub. Okay, here's our skeleton file. Cool. It's a class rational with a whole bunch of methods. Cool. So I think that the constructor should probably take a numerator and denominator. That would make sense. Oops. And I'll just basically set those. So this dot n equals numerator, and this will be denominator. Cool. Okay, so if we add Then we're going to take a, I don't know, other. And then, so D is going to be the same. So we're going to return new rational. And the numerator will be this dot n plus other dot n. And the denominator will still just be this dot d. But what if this dot d is different, right? So let's see. So then we have to find the least common denominator. And so that's going to be a helper, I guess. Least common denominator. Okay. Let's see. Can I think how... It's been a long time since I've been in school. So to find the least common denominator, we can basically multiply my denominator by theirs. Oh, wait a minute. So when I construct this, I should probably reduce it, right? So am I going to need, like, prime factors? So technically, if I reduce in the constructor, then here I can, I guess, just return new rational. The numerator doesn't matter, but this is going to be this d times other d, and just return that denominator, because here in the constructor, I guess I should probably reduce. So when we reduce, we need to divide by common factors, right? Reduce by dividing by common factors. Okay, and I guess that'll have to be a recursive, or maybe should be a recursive. Maybe. So I'll put a helper here. So this will be reduce. Okay, so then here we'll say for let I equal 2. Actually, I think I'll handle 2 as a special case. So if this n mod 2 equals 0, and this d mod 2 equals 0, then I'll say this dot n divide equal 2, this dot d divide equal 2, and then this dot reduce again. Okay, so then here I'll start with 3, I guess, and then I times I is less than this dot n, maybe, I plus equals 2, and we'll say let me not do it that way. Let me just say const n square root equals n to the 1 over 2, and then let's just use that. Less than or equal. Okay, so then here, what do? We say if this dot n mod I equals 0, and this dot d mod I equals 0, this dot n divide equal I, this dot d divide equal I, this reduce. This should be this dot. Okay. Yeah, I think that's basically it. So then we'll reduce here. Okay. So I guess that means that when I add, oh shoot. So I'm going to say const d equals this dot lcd other. This is a little nasty already. Let's see where it goes. Okay, so this is going to be the new denominator, and that's what I'm going to use here, I guess. And so that means that I'm going to need to multiply this by d over this dot d. Oh, shoot. I feel like I have to work this out on paper. And this is going to be other dot n times d over other dot d. Okay, so this is pretty half-baked. Okay, so if this is how we get the new denominator, by getting the least common denominator, and we get that by multiplying both denominators together and reducing, that reduce doesn't make sense. I've got 0 over the top. So no, that doesn't make any sense. So this is, yeah, that's 100% not the way to reduce. So let's get rid of this. This is nonsense. I think this reduce is fine. This reduce is fine. That LCD was nonsense. So let's get rid of that. So when we add them together, I'm going to multiply the two denominators together. So it's going to be this dot d times other dot d. And then here, this is going to be multiplied as well, but it's going to be by other dot d. And this one is going to be by this dot d. That makes more sense to me. And then whenever I construct it, I reduce. So that's good. Wait a minute, wait a minute. This is bad. This all needs to be an else. Okay. So then for sub, I guess I will do return this dot add. No. Yeah. This dot add. And then I'll negate the other. So let me add a negate method here. Negate. Return new rational. And it's going to be minus this n, this d. So here we need other. There. Okay, cool. Wait a minute. This is wrong as well. So after breaking here, no, excuse me. After reducing here, we need to break. Oh boy. That would have been crazy. All right. So then this one, multiply. Oh boy, let me think. Do I remember anything about how to multiply rational numbers from school? Let me come back to that one. Let me do abs. So for abs, it's going to be if this dot n wait a minute. So when we construct it, so if the denominator comes in negative, I don't really want to save it with a negative denominator. If the denominator comes in negative, I think that I should flip both. So if denominator less than 0, this dot n equals minus numerator, this dot d equals minus denominator, else yeah, okay. So then if we do absolute, then we can say if this dot n less than 0, return this negate, return this. I don't want to return this. I want to return a new rational number. Is it just called rational? Okay, just called rational. Oh gosh. Go away, go away. Okay. Return new rational. This dot n, this dot d. Okay. And then let's see, exp rational, exp real. Oh wait, reduce is down here. Oh gosh, okay. Okay, I'll just get rid of the reduce down there. I've got it up there. Okay, so multiply and divide. So I think I'm going to want invert. So below reduce, let's add invert. And that's going to be return new rational, this dot d, this dot n. So when we divide, if I remember correctly, when you divide, you just multiply by the inverted, right? So we return, so divide takes other, this dot mul, other dot invert. Okay, so then multiply I think is actually very simple. So it takes other, and we return new rational, this dot n times other dot n, this dot d times other dot d. I think it's actually that simple. Let me think. Is that right? So let me just do an example. So if we do 1/4 times 2/3, let's just say, and so if we do it the way I just said, then we're going to end up with 2/12, right? That seems right to me. Okay. All right, so then what are these last two? Exp rational and exp real. I think exp is for exponent, right? Or is it? I'm not sure. Let's come back to those. Let me run the tests that we've got so far. Okay, so we skipped 35, so I'm going to unskip everything. Dagnabbit. So wherever we have x-test like this, let's replace with just test like this. Okay, 21 passed, 15 failed. Let's have a look. So the first failure on our list, oh, wait a minute. So addition passed 4, subtraction passed 4, multiplication passed 6, division passed 4, absolute value passed 3. Reduction to lowest terms. Okay, so let's come back to these ones, because I didn't do those yet. Reduction to lowest terms was supposed to work, but it didn't. So let's find reduce a positive rational number to lowest terms. Where's that? This one. So we got 2 over, let's see, wait a minute. We got 1 over 2. Undefined? Wait a minute. Oh, reduce didn't return anything. I wasn't thinking that it needed to return anything, but it does. Okay. So here's reduce. So at the end, I guess we will return new... Wait. Yeah, we'll return... Hold on. So this is actually going to be reduce helper, I guess. And then when they call reduce itself, since I reduce in the constructor, I guess I don't really do anything in the reduce itself. So we'll just return new rational this dot n this dot. So it's kind of a misnomer, but I mean I think that's the way I prefer to do it. Unless they're expecting us to store unreduced rationals. Well, let's see what the test says. Okay, so these all still passed. Okay, so we do have a problem, right? Reduce a rational number with a negative denominator to lowest terms. Reduce 0 to lowest terms. Okay, let's look at the negative denominator one first. Right here, right? So we passed in -1, no, we passed in 3 over -9. and we were expecting minus 1 over 3, but I actually passed back minus 3 over 9, which is, of course, not correct. So when we do it, we have to be cognizant of that. So when I go to reduce, if the number is negative, okay, so let's handle it. So handle the case of a negative rational number. So what I want to do here is basically negate it, or basically get the abs. So for abs, I say if this dot n less than 0, return this dot negate, and yes, that is what I would prefer to do. So I'm going to say if this dot n less than 0, then we're going to say const a equals this dot abs, and then we're going to say this dot n equals an, this dot d equals ad. That's it. And then this has to be an else, I believe, right? Yeah. Okay, cool. So are we looking better, or did I mess some up? I think I messed some up. Yeah, I messed... Oh, gosh. Oh, gosh. Okay, so add a positive rational number and a negative rational number is now messed up. Oh, yes, of course. I forgot something that I shouldn't have forgotten. Okay, is that better? Let's see how much better. So addition is good, subtraction is good, multiplication, division, absolute value. So those are good, but reduction is still no good. Darn! Darn! All right. So negative denominator, let's see. Okay, so we were expecting minus 1 over 3, but I still passed back minus 3 over 9. That's a shame. Huh, interesting. All right, so if it's less than 0, okay, then we're going to call abs. And we, according to the tests, we thought abs was working, right? Okay. Minus... Wait a minute. Does this have to be parenthesized? Huh. I guess that's possible. I don't know. No, I think it's still the same. Rational number with a negative denominator to lowest terms. So when we did abs, I was expecting it to get reduced. So what happened? What happened? So they saying new rational 3 minus 9. So that was supposed to be turned into minus 9, 3. Do we think that actually happened? If denominator less than 0, then we negate both. Seems logical enough. And then we call the reduce helper. Which, when we call, okay, so here's the constructor. So when we call abs, it's supposed to use the constructor, but like negated. Okay, so let me focus in on, I think I'm going to go X test some of those again. So yeah, skipping exponentiation. Okay, and then this one worked, so I'll skip the 2 that worked, and then just leave those. Okay, so 4 failed, 32 skipped. Okay, okay, cool. So now let me try adding some console log and see what I get. So in reduce helper, okay, are we gonna see those logs? Let's see. Yeah, here they are. Okay, so 1, 3. Why do I have minus 1, 3? Okay, so we said const expected equals rational minus 1, 3. Okay. I've got 1, 3 here. Okay, so that's because I called abs. All right. So then here I have 3, 9, because again I called abs. But I think something did not go quite the way I expected. Okay, yeah, I see the problem right here. So we need to go up to whichever of the two is larger, actually. Shoot. Took me a while to see that problem. So we want to go math max. Whichever of the two is larger, I guess we need to go to. Probably. Yeah. Whichever of the two is larger. I think that actually fixes it, but I'm not sure I'm comfortable with the logic. Okay, so it didn't actually fix it, so there was no point. So instead of going up to a square root, maybe we need to go up to like the full amount of whichever one is smaller. So yeah, it's not helping. Yeah, interesting. So it's not reducing at all. Okay. This reduce is not that great. Let's instead let's start from the top, I guess. Yeah, I'm not whatever I was thinking, it was not very smart. Well, something about that is logical, but we're going to go through way too many numbers. So let me see if any of them pass. Nope, so there was no point. So we're supposed to reduce 1313, but it's not happening. Why not? Did I get the way... Hold on. So if I do math.min 1313, 13 comes out, so that's good. Okay, and then... So we start at smaller. I greater than equal to 2. I minus minus. And we're going to say if this dot n mod I equals 0, and this dot d mod I equals 0. Okay, then we're going to divide equal I. We're going to divide equal I. We're going to call reduce helper again. But apparently this dividing did not actually happen, I guess. Not a number. Oh, not a number. Okay, so constructor, numerator, denominator. This dot n, this dot d. Wow, okay, I thought they looked like numbers. Hmm. So something came out undefined here. That's crazy. One undefined. Smaller is not a number. Wait a minute. Did I misspell something? Okay, this dot m, this dot... No, there is no m. I've been misspelling this whole time. It was supposed to be d. Oh no. I got lost somewhere and started using m instead of d. That's crazy. Okay, so 3 passed. Okay, I think I'm going to activate everything again. Let me get rid of the console logs. Okay, 17 failed, 19 passed. Alright, so what did I break? Did I break a bunch? Add a rational number to its additive inverse, which used to work, but no longer. Oh, wait a minute. So what is it expecting when we subtract? So we took 1, 2, 1, 2. We were expecting 0, 1, and what did we get? We got 4 in the denominator there. Huh. And it used to work, but not now, because... why? Reduce 0 to lowest terms. So all the divisions broke. Oh man. Oh man. I'm gonna log off here after finishing this one, I guess. Not a very productive day. I'm just so slow on everything, man. It's crazy. This dot dull? Oh. Huh. Well, that's a goofy editing error. Okay, what about 0? They're expecting a 0, 1. Else if this n equals 0. So that, I think it's another special case, right? I think that's just a special case. All right, let's see. Probably, right? I would think so. It wasn't a special case before because I was counting the other direction, and maybe I should still count the other direction. Let me see what it says. Okay, now everything is passing except the exponentiation. So I'm going to leave it alone. So the exponentiation, finally getting back to it. Well, I mean, I never started on it. All right, so what's this first one? Let's look at it in the spec. What is it? Okay, raise a positive rational number. Okay, so we said 1, 8, and then we passed a 3 in there. Okay. So this takes a power. And so now we're going to say, so if power equals 0, return new rational, and it's going to be 1, 1. If power equals 1, return new rational this dot n, this dot d. Yeah, and then so otherwise, we're going to say while, let's just say for power greater than 1, power minus minus. But first we have to say let result equal new rational this dot n, this dot d, right? No. Let's do that before, and then we'll return result. Return result. Power greater than 1. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. So then result equals result mul this. Okay. So all of those worked. Okay, so now what does the real number one look like? So here we take a rational. Okay, so it looks like it's the same thing, but now we're supposed to return it as a rational. Interesting. Or as a real. Wait a minute. So if we take rational 0, 1 and raise it to the power of 2, wait, hold on. So we're taking 8 to the power of 4/3. Interesting. Okay. We can do that. I didn't, from the name X real, I didn't really know what to expect. But okay, so we're gonna pass in a base. And so now I think here we just use the regular JavaScript math. It's already perfectly capable of doing this, right? So we'll just return base to the power of this dot n divide this dot. I think that's literally it, so that's probably like the simplest one in the bunch. I don't know, maybe some of the others could have been that simple if I'd been thinking. No, there's still one failing. Oh no! Oh no! So it's not quite as capable as I'd hoped, huh? Alright, so we were supposed to pass back 16. Okay, alright, so how do we handle it? So we can't use this, unfortunately. So what's the way to go then? I mean, it was close. Let's see here. So if we were to do this first, then do we know what we would be dividing by? Hold on, I can't, off the top of my head, I can't think of it. We're almost done here. I'm eager to log off, quite frankly. Shoot. Off the top of my head, I can't think quite how we do this one. So we know 8, so 8, for example, to the power of 1/3 is 2. Shoot. So if we go 8 raised to the power of 1 over 2, 1 over 3. Oh, okay, well that came out as an even 2. We get the same problem as before if we do this? Yes. But what if we do them one at a time? No. What if we do the other one first? No. Doesn't make any sense. Okay, so we do this one first. Okay, hold on. This is what I did. Now raise that to the power of 4. Is that cheesy? Is that gonna just fail on some other one? I'm gonna try it this way because I'm about ready to be done. Okay, so we're gonna start with raised to the power of 1 over, like that, right? And then we're gonna raise that to the power of let's do prettier. All right, let's submit, and I'm gonna log off. And I'm gonna. So I've got work in the morning at 6 a.m. and so I guess I'm gonna try and get to bed like early-ish, earlier than last night anyway. And yeah, that's pretty much it. All right, yeah, it's bum stuff. It's bum stuff. So let's submit the file. Okay, submitted. Cool. I'm gonna turn off the confetti. It can be okay sometimes, but I don't. Failed? Your test's timed out? I don't think they're supposed to be timing out. I think they're running into trouble on Exorcism's end. Not a ton of trouble, but periodically they've been timing out, and when I think they probably shouldn't be. Because if we run that, look, it took about 1/5 of a second, right? So I mean, you know, on my machine it passes pretty quickly, it looks like, right? Like, so I mean, I don't know. So yeah, I think that they are having issues, periodic issues with their infrastructure. So I don't know. I'm just gonna log off and try it again another day. I mean, it could be that in this case, I don't think there's a problem with